For some people, smoking may not seem like such a big deal, but for non-smokers, always having to walk around and smoking people's areas, cigarette smoke everywhere, and you smell it, you breathe it in, it sticks on your clothes, it makes you smell bad. You know, people sometimes don't want to deal with that, and that's my point of perspective, being a non-smoker. And and some college campuses have smoke free, like JCC, for example. But my home campus of Edinboro isn't smoke free, and having to walk out of class right into a smoker and smelling it and getting breathing it in and stuff, I just don't like doing that. So I hope Edinboro will be smoke free soon. In fact, the Center for Disease Control states that tobacco is the single largest preventable cause of death and disease in the United States. That nearly 500,000 Americans die of each year, and a tenth of those deaths in America are from secondhand smoke. And it's just it shouldn't be like that because secondhand smoke is awful. People who don't smoke dying from smoking. Scientists suggest that there are three types of smokers: those that become addicted quickly, those that get hooked gradually over time, and then those that can smoke and then drop it off right away. And since it is different for everybody, it's hard to tell. You know, maybe a secondhand smoker might walk into a smoke and be addicted like that. You never know with a person. And then for teens, nicotine can be extremely sensitive because they're still growing, and they're going through the adolescent stage. And when they reach college campuses, those teens might have picked up those habits, so that when they're developing those habits as teens and they go to college campuses, it's hard to drop those habits. And then smoking after sun exposure is actually the second leading cause of skin aging, causing wrinkles. And then the tar from the cigarettes and the nicotine will stain fingers and teeth. It's just smoking is just not good for you. And along with external effects, there's internal effects as well. Smokers suffer from shortness of breath 3 times more than non-smokers, and smoking causes the slow growth of lungs, which can lead to permanent shortness of breath instead of just temporary. Uh, can, uh, Cigarettes are also linked to causing cancer, such as leukemia, cataracts, pneumonia, and they actually account for a third of all cancer deaths, and one of the well-known ones is lung cancer. And in fact, the ingredients in cigarettes are found in rat poison, toilet cleaners, formaldehyde, which is a preservative for dead animals, and other poisonous ingredients. And I don't understand why people would want to smoke when they knew that was in there. So I don't know if that's smokers making the decision just to continue, or if it's just the addiction getting to them. It only takes 8 seconds for nicotine to reach the brain, and it's just as addictive as heroin and cocaine. And nicotine is extremely addictive. And that's why only 12% of all teen smokers who tried to quit were actually able to do successfully. That means a whole 88% of teens were addicted to smoking and can't get rid of it. And many people smoke because it gets rid of stress, or what they think gets rid of stress. But the real truth behind it is smoking causes stress. And when they smoke to get rid of the stress, the nicotine from the first cigarette wears off, and then they start craving the second cigarette nicotine, and that causes more stress and makes the person nervous and tense. So as I was saying before, the ingredients in cigarettes are extremely dangerous, and there's over 600 of them in there, and when they smoke and burn together all those chemical compounds combining, it makes over 7,000 chemicals, and 69 of these chemicals are known to cause cancer, and many more are poisonous to the human body. And then for many smokers, they start at a young age, and when they start at a young age, it carries over. I mean, when you get addicted to it, you gotta keep doing it, and when you create that habit, the addiction becomes even stronger and stronger. That's why more than 80% of full-grown smokers begin smoking before the age of 18. And if they smoke before the age of 18, well, that's when they create really those permanent habits for them. And one cigarette can even get somebody hooked. And like we said before, there's those 3 different kinds, so there's always the potential for someone getting hooked. And with the young age of under 18, it increases the person's chance of becoming addicted even more. In fact, the leading smokers in the world are the 18 to 24-year-old, which is the highest age group of smokers. And to me, it doesn't make any sense because they're in college, they have those bills to pay for, and cigarettes aren't cheap. Okay, they're not cheap. In fact, the average price of a cigarette in the United States is $5.51, with most states between $6 and $8 for a pack. And the taxes they may be rising soon. We're not sure. They're voting on it. It's all up to the states. But on that rate, if a person smokes a pack a day, they're spending about $5,000 a year on cigarettes. And studies have shown that if they don't spend those $5,000 on cigarettes over 20 years of their life, they could make plenty of house payments, buy a new car. They can do a lot more of that stuff that they're spending on cigarettes. And among 18 to 24-year-olds, that big range of smoking group, 28.7% report that they are someday smokers, which means that they smoke in public. They're public smokers, social smokers, you may hear. That's the highest rate of any smoking group. And in fact, tobacco markets have implied advertising strategies to get to these someday smokers, because when you say someday smokers, they don't think they're actually smokers. They're just social smokers, and that it's okay for them to do it because they only smoke every so often. But the real point of my argument is the effects of secondhand smoke. For non-smokers like me, we choose not to smoke because we don't want to breathe those in. So when we're around smoking people all the time, like on my campus at Edinboro, there's smokers. You walk outside, there's a smoker there walking around. You can smell it sometimes off of people. Secondhand smoke adds an immense effect to the increase of heart disease, stroke, cancer, and many other complications. And somebody, Raskob, even states that no amount of secondhand smoke is safe for a person. So my argument is that we go smoke-free on campus so people don't have to worry about it. And as of 2016, 1,500 campuses around the United States are smoke-free, including JCC. And the interesting fact I found about it was Edinboro was actually smoke-free at one time, but they canceled it because there wasn't a very good, strong implement of the smoke-free thing. So people, if they smoked on campus, they get a little slap on the wrist. And a lot of times they found that the success of this smoke-free campus is all about the punishment and the problems that come along with getting those smokers off campus. So hopefully in Edinboro they have a strict discipline plan for it, and they won't take any crap from the smokers talking about it. And the thing that makes it crazy is that out of all the students on campus, normally only 20% of the smokers smoke, or 20% of the students smoke, and that means 80% don't smoke. And on Edinboro, around 10,000 students, 8,000 students don't smoke compared to 2,000 students who do. And a lot of people like me and other athletes probably and other non-smokers don't want to deal with those smokers on campus. And it just makes no sense. Why would you side with the 20%? We can go with the 80%. And anyway, so campus smoking to me just doesn't make any sense at all. They can walk off campus and smoke. They can walk around town and smoke. I just don't want it on campus, because the fact is, secondhand smoke kills people along with those smokers. And people who choose not to smoke shouldn't have to feel the effects of smoking.